Hi, welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Karen Slawinski from thepowerofacard.blogspot.com. I have a new video today, and it's a basic Z-fold card. So tonight we're going to be featuring a new suite of products from the new catalog that's coming out on Wednesday, June 3rd. I'm very excited about that. But we are going to be using the stamps from A Beautiful World and then the coordinating dies that go with them. And they are beautiful. I'm going to just set those aside. We are also going to be featuring the Designer Series paper from that suite. I'm just going to show you some of those papers. So these papers are all maps, geometric, world globes, all kinds of things having to do with the world of travel. And we have some new in colors that are going to be released. We've got Cinnamon Cider here. We've got Misty Moonlight and Bumblebee. So these papers are beautiful. I'm going to just set those aside. The other one that's from that pack that we're going to be using is this one right here. So I'm going to show you what we need to make our card today. So we have this paper here. This happens to be 4 by 5 3/8. We also have our card base, which is our Whisper White, which is a standard half size sheet of paper, so 8.5 by 5.5, and we're going to score that. We have a piece of our Misty Moonlight. This is 2 inches by 8.5. Again, we're going to score that. We have a piece of Whisper White that I have embossed. This happens to be 4 1/8 by 5 3/8, and I don't know if you can see that, but that's got the subtle embossing texture on that. We have some pieces that I have die cut. So we have a globe in the background, the holder for the globe, a little swirly majig. I'm just going to set those out of the way. And then this piece of Designer Series paper is from the In Color 6 by 6 pack. Now this comes with all the new in colors, and each of the papers are double-sided. So we're going to be using this side, but there's these 2 designs, and there are 2 other designs in each of the 5 in colors. So I'm going to start with our basic fold. So this is our half sheet of Whisper White, and we are just going to fold it in half. Now you could score this if you want, but it folds very readily. And then we're going to crease it with our bone folder. And then we're going to have the card just as if you were to open it, and we're going to fold it back on itself. So it's very easy to just line that right up. If you wanted to score it, you could. It's 2 1/8, but it's quite easy to do. We're going to do the same thing with our Misty Moonlight piece. So we're just going to fold that right in half, and we're going to crease that, and then we are going to fold it back on itself and crease that again. So it's really nice to burnish or crease those edges. So you're going to end up with 2 Z's, if you will. Okay? Now I'm going to take, and we are going to put some of our pieces together. So this is the inside on the right side of the card, and just having that white on white, beautiful subtle texture on there adds just a little bit of interest to it without detracting from the designs. So we're going to add just a little bit of glue. Again, you don't want very much glue. I like to do this upside down, and then I'm going to just, it's the tiniest of margins on there. All right, and then press that into place. Now the next 2 pieces I'm going to do are from this piece. Now I cut this as a 4 by 4 3/4, not 4 3/4, excuse me, 5 3/8. And I like to keep it intact until I'm ready to assemble it. So I'm going to pull over my little trimmer, and I'm going to cut these now down into 2-inch pieces. So they're now 2 by 5 3/8. And I'm going to keep them in the same order that they cut them, so that the pattern is going to continue across my card. So I'm going to take this first piece, I'm going to flip it over, get a good view of what the back side of this is. I'm going to add a little bit of glue, and this is going to go on the left hand side. Again, it's just going to leave a very narrow margin. Oh, that just slid on me. Good thing we have the glue, because that gives you all the wiggle room that you need. Oh, come on. All right. Now I'm going to do that other piece. And this is going to go right here. So the pattern is actually continuing over the crease. And then we have that. Now this is our Z-fold piece, and did you notice we had like this? I'm going to turn it over and it's going to go like this. So I'm just going to show you before we glue anything down that what we're going to do is assemble it like this so it opens like that. It's a very, very simple Z-fold. There's a lot of different Z-folds that you can do, and this is one of the most basic. So that's why I wanted to introduce it to you tonight. So before we go and assemble that, we need to do our stamping. All right, so I'm going to take my stamps, and we are going to be using You Make the World a Better Place, and then Thank You for Being a Part of Mine. So we don't have the ability to get the new inks yet, but because I'm a Paper Pumpkin subscriber, we got the Misty Moonlight ink spot in our May kit. So I'm going to go ahead and turn this over and ink up, and you just tap it on. So this we are going to stamp over on this side and hold it down for just a second. Perfect. And then the inside piece is a thank you for being part of mine. Again, I'm just going to ink it up. And then we are going to ink that on the inside piece, and we want it near the top so that we have room to sign it. Awesome. The last thing we need to do to this is add our little panel, and that's going to go in this part right there. Now this is 2 by 1 7/8, so you make sure that you don't turn it the wrong way. You do want it this way. And we are going to add a little bit of adhesive, and then turn it however's easiest for you. And once again, it's leaving just the tiniest of borders. It's a 1/16 of an inch all around. So we now have our basic part for this, and we can go ahead and assemble this. So what we're going to do now is add adhesive to this side only. So you just want to turn this over, and we're going to add adhesive. You don't want to go past that halfway point. And I put this up, oh, say 3/4 of an inch. It's going to go all the way to the edge. And we're just going to hold that in place until the glue sets. Okay. Then, to do this part, we turn it over. We're going to add glue to this back flap. Okay. And all we're going to do is close our card and press down here. Okay, so it's going to go right to that very edge, and then we have our Z-fold. All right, it's going to lay flat. It's going to open nicely. Looks great. Now we're ready to do our globe. So I like to bring out my silicone craft mat, and we're going to assemble our pieces. So we are going to add a little bit of adhesive to the back here. And you just need a little bit of dots. Okay. And then we're going to stick this onto the background for our globe. And it is going to leave just a little bit of a margin. Okay, slide that into place. I'm going to seal that. And we are going to assemble this to our globe, and you can angle it however you want. So what I like to do for this, because this is such a thin thing, is I'm going to use my sponge, and I'm just going to put a little bit of glue up here, and I'm only going to add this sponged glue to this top part. And I'm going to set my globe down, place my globe holder, I'm not sure what you call these things, just like so. So now that is adhered. Now before I add this to my card, I wanted to add just a little bit of sparkle. So I've gotten my Wink of Stella pen out, and I just wanted to add a little bit of shine, like this was maybe a metal of some sort, just to my globe holder. So just a little bit. Just gives it an extra little touch. And now we're ready to add that to our card. So we can go ahead and turn that over. We can add our glue. We can add just a little bit down. I'm going to add just a smidgen more. And we're going to place that over here on the left side of our card. There. And we have one final little touch, and that is this little squirrely majig. So I'm going to, I think I need a little bit more glue. Add a little bit more glue here. Because this is such a fine little detail, I'm going to try not to get it all over my finger. Just add a little bit of glue to this. And I'm going to add it up here in this corner. I think I'm going to turn it this way. Press that down. And there we have our basic Z-fold card. So simple. You could vary the width of this depending on what kind of stamps that you wanted to do. You could also add a panel of other DSP here if you wanted to. Just play with it. It's a really easy design. And I just wanted to show you a couple other cards I made when I was working on this. If you didn't want to have that panel on this side, so this one I made just entirely plain, but it's the same kind of thing. I made this one in Mossy Meadow, and this happens to be, I think, our Sail Away. I'm not positive on that word, or Sailing Home, I can't remember. But anyway, I used the same stamps, but I used different paper on this one. And if you wanted to make something a little bit more feminine, here, I made one with some florals. I still used the globe, and the sentiments are all the same, but just made something a little bit more delicate. So that is our video for tonight. I'm so glad that you watched tonight, and if you would like to place an order, I would love your business. You can go to thepowerofacard.blogspot.com. I've got the link to my online store. I appreciate you watching my video and subscribing and giving it a thumbs up. And hopefully I will be back soon with another video. Bye.